14 promoted to Ruby. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
14 new Rubies. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Okay, yeah, I can't wait to watch that tomorrow. But thanks for getting on with us instead.
Yeah, thanks for picking us. So I just pushed record. Let's go ahead and get started because we do not want to keep you guys for a long time. We want to make this brief. This is exciting information because it's getting your first 4 loyal customers is your first goal right out of the gate, and it's really to help you like get your feet with the business and like get you confident and motivated and excited, and also the shopping spree, which is always huge, right? And everyone I'm looking at on here, I believe some of you aren't personally enrolled to me, but I believe everyone on here has their 4 loyal customers, right? So the next step after 4 loyal customers is one, making sure that you're a qualified leg yourself, which I'll explain. And then 2, hey Jen. And then 2, it is, hold on, let me mute everybody. Your next step after that is going Ruby. And this is huge because it is basically the first rank. There is a rank called executive, but we kind of skip over that because our team is like a whole nother level. We just raise the bar. And so we blow right past executive and go for Ruby. And so I'm going to explain to you guys, or Ashley is, we didn't really talk about who's going to talk about what, but we're going to explain to you guys the actual like mechanics of Ruby, meaning what do you actually need to promote. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the like how to. So like, okay, I know I need X, Y, and Z, but how the heck do I get X, Y, and Z? So let's start by talking about Ruby. I don't have a Ruby chart printed out, but I happen to have something just as good. So I'm just going to use my own name here and draw a quick Ruby chart. Okay, so here is a Ruby chart. Can you guys all see that okay? So this would be your name up here. First of all, raise your hand if you are already boxed for Ruby. Yay, Hope. Yay, Anne. That's amazing. Emily, go girl. I want you to promote to Ruby over and over and over. That's the goal. So you're right when you put your hand up, Emily, because to go double, what do you need? Just more and more and more Rubies. And we'll talk about that a little bit. But this is a Ruby chart. And so this is your next big goal. And so all that you need, and I'm saying all because if you were on last week's like pop-up training that we did, I'm not sure who of you were and who of you weren't, but this is basically your steps to success. The roadmap for your business every single month is getting yourself commission qualified, getting 4 loyal customers, and getting 3 new teammates to join your team. And look, that's all that Ruby is 3 new teammates. So you need 3 people to join your team. I'm going to go ahead and write down mom, bestie, and my cousin. So I reached out to my 3 people, and I'm not saying that these were the first 3 people that I reached out to and they were all like, heck yeah, sign me up. Here's my credit card. I talked to I'm talking to everybody that I know. I'm telling them what's up. I'm seeing how they're doing. I know that they need extra money. I know that they would be amazing at this. Those are the people that I look for. One, who could use this business? Like, who needs that money? Who's always complaining on Facebook, or who's always looking for a second job or a job in general? Who would be fantastic at this? Like, who has a great personality? Who could like sell ice to an Eskimo? Who are these people? Like, write them down, because those are the people that I want on my team. And this is another thing that I was going to do this as like a exercise at the end, but what better time than right now, since this is exactly what I'm talking about. I want you guys to go ahead, and if you haven't already, just get out a piece of paper and a pen and just write down 10 people right now. Write down 5 people who you think could really, really use this business. And don't be like, oh, well, like my cousin Sarah, you know, she could use this business, but like she would never do anything like this. Or like, oh, my neighbor Erica, she's a lawyer, she's super successful, she doesn't need this. Like, you don't get to decide who needs this business. That's not up to you, it's up to them. All you are is the messenger. You are going to them and you're asking them. So I want you to write down 5 people that you think could really, really, really use this business. Maybe you're like, they're, you know, like I said, they talk about all the time how they need the money, or maybe they have a bunch of babies at home with them, like me, and they just maybe just want some fun money, or maybe, I don't know, like you just think about it. Like, who are those 5 people that could use this? And don't rule anyone out. And then I want you to write down 5 more people who you just think would be amazing at this. Like, who would just kill it? And once you have that list, I want to take it a step further. And those 5 people that you think would kill it, like, what are some attributes about them that you think they would kill it? Because I want you to write down that list. I want you to write down that list and just have it kind of be like the things that you're looking for in people. You know, like sometimes I get to the point where I'm like, man, I'm always just like, who could use $500 extra a month? Who could use extra money? Who could do this? Who wants to work from their phone for just a couple minutes a day? And I feel like when I'm saying those things, those are the people I'm attracting, obviously. So I'm attracting these, and there's nothing wrong with it, especially if you're personally enrolled to me and you're like, wait, that's me. But I feel like I'm attracting people who are broke and they desperately need this money, because that's who I'm asking, and that's who my posts are always super directed towards. But that's not the only people that need this business. If I started making my posts more like, I'm looking for really hardworking people. I'm looking for people who will put in the extra now so that they can have more later. And so I'm just going to use Kaylee, for example, because she's one of my brand new distributors. She's like not even a week in, and she's already got her 4 customers, and she has like a zillion potentials. And so Kaylee, I'm not calling you out here. I hope you don't mind me sharing a little bit, but Kaylee, she is like, I really need this business. Like, I really need the extra money. I want all this for my daughter and like my husband, and like, they're so deserving, and I know I'm deserving too. Right. And so that would be my post where I'm like, I'm looking for like the people that need the money. I'm looking for the broke people, like, come to me. But like, if I had just been like, I'm looking for the hard workers who will do anything for their family, I still would have attracted Kaylee, but I would be attracting the rock stars like Kaylee, and not just, I hate to say it, but not just like the broke people who like want a change but aren't actually willing to work for it, you know? So in a sense, I'm almost weeding out the distributors who are going to sign up and never do a thing. I'm attracting the rock stars. So hopefully that's helpful. That kind of came out of left field. Ashley's like, Shelby, that's not on the notes. You're supposed to be talking about the Ruby chart here. But I just want you guys, one thing that's like so on my heart right now is distributors. I want you guys signing distributors, and loyal customers are the bread and butter of our business. So I want you signing loyal customers too. Sales are where our paychecks come from. But when you sign distributors, your organization grows. And when you have a team below you who's also signing distributors and also signing loyal customers, aka Steps to Success, their team is going to grow, their paycheck is going to grow, and your paycheck's going to grow too. So it's a beautiful thing when it all comes together. And right now, what I'm seeing is a lack of distributor signing. And I think part of the problem is, and not even that it's a problem, but I think part of the lack is that you're lacking something up here in your mind. You're lacking that you are worthy and capable of signing teammates to your team. You're like, well, who am I? Like, what, why should they be joining me? Like, I'm posting every day, I'm asking people, I'm messaging, I'm doing all the things, which we're going to talk about those things, the 6 list. But up here, you don't truly believe that you're either worthy or that you're capable or that you're going to say the wrong thing or whatever. And I think the biggest thing about signing distributors, the way that you sign distributors is by, number one, believing that you can and putting it out there that you can and that you will. And so I ask people all the time, what's your goal? How many distributors are you going to sign? And my biggest pet peeve is when they say, like, I think I might try to sign this many. Or I say, girl, your goal is 3 distributors this month. And they say, I'll try. No, like, just do it. Just tell yourself you're going to. Don't even have that little ounce of doubt. Because when you say, I'm going to sign 3 distributors, you're going to do it. It's all psychological. It's a thing in your head. You have to tell your brain what you're going to do before your brain allows you to do it. It's like a brain trick. You got to trick your brain into believing that it's true. So take, like, I'll try, maybe, coulda, woulda, shoulda, whatever out of your vocabulary and just say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And if for some reason, I don't even want to go there. I was going to say, nope, I keep about to go there. I'm not going there. You're just going to do it. Just make your goal, set a goal and tell yourself that it's happening and then get to work. So back to this Ruby chart. I keep getting so off topic, but hopefully this stuff is really helping you guys. So back to your Ruby chart. It's just 3 distributors. This is what you need to be, quote unquote, boxed in or charted for Ruby. Now, being boxed in, charted for, some people even say structured for, that just means you have the amount of distributors that you need to reach that promotion. But truthfully, being boxed in, charted for, structured means nothing as far as actually promoting. I could be boxed for Ambassador Diamond, which is like 8 bajillion distributors. I don't know how many it is. It's not 8 bajillion, but it's a lot. I could be boxed in for that, but if I don't have the volume that's needed under all of those distributors, then I'm an executive, or I'm not even an executive. I'm a distributor. You can't promote unless you have the distributors and the volume. So let's talk about that. So you need to get these boxes filled with 3 people, right? Now, the next thing that you need to promote is all 3 of those distributors need to have a minimum of 400 in group volume. So all 4 of them need to have all 3 of them need to have at least 400 in volume. The way that they get volume is by signing loyal customers and by any orders that they personally place. And so if all 3 of them are running their 80 BV auto shipments, and then they all 3 get their 4 loyal customers to get their shopping spree, they're going to be pretty dang close to that 400 minimum that they need. So not only should you be running your auto shipments so that you can be commission qualified, because that's another factor in actually promoting, is you need to be commission qualified to promote. But if you're teaching your 3 distributors to run their auto shipments to be commission qualified, and then you're teaching them how to get their 4 LCs each to get their shopping spree, they're either going to have that 400 GV or be really dang close. Now, the last part of promoting to Ruby is you need to have an overall group volume of 2,000 GV minimum. So each of your 3 teammates needs to have 400 minimum, but you need to have 2,000 minimum. Now, if you're doing the math, 400 plus 400 plus 400 is only 1,200 and you need 2,000. So that means the 800 needs to come from somewhere else. But this, instead of like getting confused, so if you're like, what? Just hold on, bear with me, don't get confused. Instead of getting confused about it, think about it as a blessing. That means that 800 in volume can come from any of these people. So 400 is their minimum, but let's say Cuzzy over here is taking off and she signs some distributors of her own down here. Like she wants to go Ruby too. So she's boxing herself in for Ruby, her 3 distributors, and they're getting volume. So Cuzzy's group volume is going up. So she actually has, let's just say she has 1,000 in volume because her team's killing it. Well, now Cuzzy has 1,000, Bestie has, let's just say 500. Now we're at 1,500 already. Mom has 400. And so now we're at 1,900. You ran your auto shipment of, let's just say it's 100 BV. Now you're only, I forget what I said everyone has, but I hope you get the point that like the volume can come from anywhere for you to get the 2,000 group volume. So group basically means your entire organization. Your volume from your entire organization needs to be 2,000 GB. Okay, so
can I interrupt for 1 second?
Yes, please do.
I don't want to confuse you by any means, but Shelby, can you hold that Ruby chart up again real quick? Okay, so let's say this is where you're at and you need that 2,000 and everybody's volume is what she has written down. But let's say your mom, one of her coworkers is like, oh my gosh, I've heard about it, works, I want to join. And let's say mom signs her coworker, and even though that coworker is not technically in a box where you need her to be to go Ruby, anything that mom's coworker does, all of that volume will also count. So anything, it can literally, like Shelby said, it can literally come from anywhere. But just keep in mind that as your 3 distributors that you personally enrolled, as they are doing this, what you're teaching them to do, anything that their team does will also compress up to your overall volume. I hope that made sense. Okay, continue.
Yeah. And so I just want to add on to, this is kind of off the cuff and I hope this doesn't confuse you guys. But I think there's a struggle with Ruby. And the struggle is that you get these 3 distributors, you're so excited, and then you like get this volume by the skin of your teeth and you promote to Ruby and you're so excited, and then you're just kind of like, I did it. And then you kind of stay stagnant, or not even stagnant, but like, I guess what I'm trying to say is you have to be teaching your new distributors the same steps that you're working towards. I think what happens a lot is I'm this Ruby up here and I'm like, I just have to go Ruby. Like I need this $500 paycheck. And so you get your 3 distributors and you just focus on what they should be doing to benefit you. And I don't even mean selfishly, but you just forget that because you're trying so hard to go Ruby that you forget to teach them how to go Ruby. But I'm telling you guys, when you focus more on your distributors and less on you, and you focus on helping them go Ruby, you're gonna go Ruby like on accident. And whoa, that's a beautiful thing. I kind of went Prez on accident. And it wasn't on accident, meaning I didn't put in the work because I busted my hump. But what I mean is I was so busy helping my team promote that I didn't even realize I went presidential diamond. Like somebody like my upline legit was like, oh my God. And I was like, I know, my team's killing it. And she's like, no, you're presidential. I have goosebumps just saying it right now because like it happened on accident. And that's exactly what will happen here when you're remembering to teach these people just to teach them how to go Ruby. Not only are you going to promote to Ruby, but you're going to be boxed for Emerald. And dang near emerald already when you are helping you're focusing on your team and not just like so selfishly trying to figure out how you're going to get to ruby. So hopefully that makes sense. And it wasn't like next training, like hopefully there's no like super newbies other than Kaylee. She's like, what? We need to talk later.
No, I feel like that was a perfect thing to say because it is true. I feel like it just happens on accident that, you know, when we sign distributors, um when that everything you just said, we're focusing on, oh my gosh, okay, Ruby, 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 I want to go Ruby by the state, I need this money, blah blah blah. And if we could just change that mindset to, okay, now I'm working towards Ruby, but now I'm going to get all three of my girls to Ruby, and like almost kind of doing it together, because just like you said, it's gonna not only is it gonna happen organically for you, but now you have this massive team under you, and you could be only like 2-3 months in the business, but they're going to remember how you taught them. So they're going to, when they sign a distributor, they're going to be like, okay, so Ashley enrolled me. The first thing she did was this, and then she taught me how to do this. And everybody duplicates what you do. And so even if whether you have your box for Ruby or not, if you don't have anybody at all on your team right now, it doesn't matter. As soon as you sign somebody, you're officially a leader. And just keep that simplicity mindset, that everything that you are saying and doing and teaching to this person, they're going to do the exact same thing with their team. And this is 4 years in for me, and I still have to remind myself of that because it's hard. Like even for some of you on here who have been in this a little bit longer, you forget sometimes that number one, this business is simple and the plan is very simple, but two, you forget what it's like to be new. And so anyways, I don't want to keep rambling on about that, but I'm happy that you said that, Shelby, because oh my gosh, if we could just all together change that mindset to, okay, let's just get my whole team to go Ruby, we would all just explode. It would be crazy. Okay, continue.
Okay, so that's basically the mechanics of how to go Ruby. So there's a few steps to it. One, you need to make sure you're commission qualified, super important. Two, you need to have 3 distributors below you. 3, all 3 of those distributors need to have a minimum of 400 GV each. And 4, you need to have a minimum of 2,000 GV. So those are the 4 steps for going Ruby. So now we're going to go into a little bit about the actual like how-tos. And so Ashley, I want you to go over the 6 list, but I want you to keep it brief because we did go over this in last week's pop-up training. And so, and I know for me, like I teach this to my newbies, like this is the first thing we go over. So just go over it briefly, like spend maybe 60 to 90 seconds on each thing.
Okay, so basically, I think we probably always say this, but what the 6 things I'm about to read, there could be changes from day to day just based on what's going on. But for the most part, so like Shelby just said, she showed us what a Ruby is, how to get there in the sense of the mechanics of it. But now, okay, so what does that mean when I wake up in the morning, whether I'm a college student and I have a part-time job, whether I work full-time and a part-time, whatever your life is on a daily basis, what do you need to be doing in order to make sure that you do reach that goal of Ruby and then, of course, beyond? And so the most important things on a typical day are going to be 1, growing your network. So just briefly summing that up, making sure that every single day you have new people seeing your content on Facebook and on Instagram. And I'll throw out a couple numbers, but don't feel like this has to be your numbers. But for Facebook, I like to add between 5 and 10 people every single day. And then for Instagram, don't freak out, but I like to add around 100 a day. You'll get there if you're not doing that yet. But it's so important every single day to do that because you're getting fresh people on a consistent basis seeing your content. Okay, so growing network. Number 2, interact. So make sure that you guys are going. For me personally, I do 10 minutes a day. So it's actually the first thing I do after my devotional. I just scroll through my feed. I like and I comment. I like to ask questions sometimes so people can respond to me. I go through my stories. If there's polls, if whatever kind of interacting there is on my stories, I'll do that too. But I'll just set a timer, 10 minutes. I'll do 5 on Instagram, 5 on Facebook. And that way I'm getting into people's news feed and they're noticing me because I'm commenting, I'm liking. And social media prefers that you comment rather than like. So they're going to show your stuff more. The more that you use their tools, the more they're going to show your Facebook and Instagram profiles. So we have grow, network, interact. The next one, and this isn't in any particular order, the next one is messaging. I won't get too much into this because this is a Ruby training, not social media training, but basically the point of messaging is to let people know that you're there. You know, if they are watching you, but they have no idea that it's something they can do, because it's funny, but a lot of times people don't realize, like, oh my gosh, wait, I can be part of that business with her. So it's kind of just your way of knocking on their door and saying like, hey, I'm here if you want some products or if you want to make some extra money. That's not how you'll say it, but you get my point. So growing your network, interacting, messaging. This, I don't want to say is the most important one, but without it, I would probably be like an executive. Follow up. So every single day I follow up with people. My personal rule of thumb is to follow up with anybody I talked to the day before, unless they gave me like a specific date. But it takes like 7 to 21 times to follow up with somebody before they'll do it. In fact, I signed an LC this month who I like laughed out loud once she finally ordered the product of how many times I had to follow up with her. And as somebody who might be a little newer in the business, you might freak out about that and feel like you're annoying people, but you're not. It's your job. And I see head nods. You're not annoying people. It is not only is it our job, but the thing is, guys, is 99.9% of the time when you're messaging somebody, this is what, like, let's just say they're at work and they have their phone out. You tell them what Thermofite X is, and they are like, oh my gosh, I need that. And they put their phone down and they get back to work. In 30 minutes, they have forgotten about you. And like, you're probably still sitting over there like, okay, she read my message. What is she doing? Why isn't she responding? But that's not what's happening on their end. They're not annoyed by you. They are literally just busy. They're doing whatever they're doing in their life. And I can honestly say, in the 4 years I've done this, I have never had somebody tell me to stop messaging them or to stop following up with them, ever. I mean, I would tell you guys, I've never had that happen. So that's the main reason. But then the other thing too is, imagine if I was, I don't know, talking to Sarah about the business and she's really interested. We're going back and forth. I follow up with her and she's like, yeah, that does sound good. Like, let me think about it. And then I follow up with her next Friday and she's like, okay, I just need to come up with the money. Well, then let's say I follow up with her one more time and she leaves me on red. So at that point, you might be like, man, like, is she ever going to join? I don't want to follow up again. I feel like I've done it too many times. So let's just say that's how we left the conversation. And then Shelby adds Sarah on Instagram randomly because she's growing her network every day. And Shelby reaches out to her and she's like, oh my gosh, I was just looking at your Instagram. I think you'd be amazing at what I do. Have you heard of It Works? And she's like, actually, yes. Like, I'm really interested and I think I'm ready to do it. Sarah is going to sign up with Shelby. I did all of the work, but I didn't follow up with her again. And so Shelby is going to message her, and she's going to be right there ready to join. And instead of me following up again, it's going to be Shelby messaging her for the first time. And I promise, guys, that's like real life stuff that happens all the time. So you want to be the first and the last person to message somebody. Okay. And then the last two things, self-development, which some of you may already know about this, some of you may not, but basically this business is 80% mindset and 20% work. And I know that sounds really crazy, but holy cow, it is true. You have got to have an entrepreneur mindset. You have to have a business mindset. I came into this having none of that. And this business is not hard at all. I'm sure most of you on here already realize it. It's not hard stuff that we do, but it can get mentally draining or exhausting if you reach a certain point in your business and you're like, what the heck? But also you have to, all of a sudden, you have to dream. You know, when you work a 9 to 5, your boss doesn't sit you down and ask you what your goals are in your life and what your dreams are. And, you know, in 5 years, how much you want to be making. That's not a conversation. Whereas in this business, that's like all we talk about is, you know, by this date, I want to pay off my car, or by this date, I want to have enough saved to put a down payment for a house. And so because that's so new, you have to train your mind and you have to develop your mind to think that way. And I personally do it every morning. Like as soon as I get out of the shower, I turn it on and I just have something playing in the background while I'm getting ready. It can be an array of things. It can be worship music. It can be a sermon. It can be a book, a YouTube pump up sesh, a training, whatever it is. Everybody's different and we all need our own stuff. And so do what works for you, but just get it in. If you don't have time to do that in the morning, do it on your drive. If you work every day, you know, instead of listening to music, put something on that's going to actually feed your brain. I think the statistic is, Shelby, you might have to help me, but billionaires read a book a week.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So, I mean, I want to be a billionaire, so like I'm going to do what they do. But again, if you don't have time, just figure it out. If you don't have time to sit down and read an actual book, because I don't, download Audible. If you don't have that yet, it's pretty much a game changer. You can just listen to the book in the car, at your house, whatever. Okay. And then the last thing on that list is just daily communication with your team. So you may not have a team yet, maybe you do, but just daily communication with them. You know, and honestly, it doesn't always have to start out with the business. You can grow a relationship with that person and have, like, I'm not saying to chat on the phone for an hour by any means, but you know, just whatever that looks like for you. Of course, it's going to be different on a monthly basis. And if you guys are both working towards the same goal, promotions, whatever, just make sure there's constant communication and that your team knows that you are there for them. And that's it. That's the 6 list. Those are the things that if you do all 6 of those things every single day, you will be very successful in this business.
Okay. Is there anything else that we wanted to go over, Ash? So we went over.
Yeah. One more thing. I'm sorry. I wrote this down. I never include this in my 6 list because to me it's like a given, but I forget that, like you still need to talk about it. And I think Shelby, I'll touch on it a little bit and then you can take over because I feel like you're better at this, but we have to make sure we're posting every day. So I know that it can seem like, what the heck am I supposed to post about or talk about? Like I don't have a mansion and I haven't retired my husband or whatever it is that you think. But your personal story is so important because the people who are watching you can relate to you. And honestly, people People relate to the little things like a grocery bill or filling your gas tank much more than they can relate to retiring your husband. So you've got to make sure that every day you're getting content out there and talking about not only what this business has already done for you. I think everyone on here has earned a shopping spree. So you make sure you've talked about earning $100 shopping spree. Some of us have already had teammates join us. Some of you may have already earned a fast start bonus, a $99 fast start bonus. That could be a formula, diapers, and wipes for a single mom who is struggling. And those are the people who, when they see that you're getting unlimited $99 bonuses every week, those are the people who are going to be like, oh my gosh, I need this. They're not going to feel that way when they see Shelby posting about retiring their husband. They're going to roll their eyes and be like, there's no way I could do that. Okay, Shelby, talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, it's so true. The little things are definitely what attract people, and the things that Ashley listed are huge. Like every little thing, blow it up into the biggest thing, and just like make it a big deal. I remember somebody saying once that she would, like, this is before we had keto coffee, but she would every morning when she would drive through the Starbucks drive-through, she would post about it and just be like, if it wasn't for my home-based business, I would not be here. I would not be enjoying my $5 coffee every single day. I wouldn't be able to. Or even, maybe she didn't even go through every single day. Maybe she would get one every now and then and be like, this is a treat and this is special. But because of my home-based business, I'm able to splurge on my favorite coffee. So it doesn't have to be coffee, but it can be anything like that. When you go shopping, tell them how your home-based business footed the bill. When you, I'm trying to think of stuff, like Ashley said, when you fill your gas tank, talk about how it works, footed the bill. And find a way to tell a story about it. Use past, present, future. Talk about how 6 months ago, I just did this post actually not that long ago. I filled my mom's gas tank for her last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever. And I was like, 5 years ago, I could barely fill my gas tank. I was one of those people that would put $10 or $20 in just to get me by until I got my next paycheck. And now here I am being able to bless others and not only fill my beast of a Suburban, but also I'm able to fill my mom's gas tank for no reason, just because I love her. And, it means so much to me that I'm able to, bless myself and bless others too, because of this business. And I can't wait for and then talk about the future and the future things that you want to be able to do. And then bring it all back around with a strong call to action. Like, who else is ready to bless themselves and be able to bless others as well? I am looking for X, Y, and Z amount of, I'm looking for 3 girls this month or 3 women this month or 3 people this month that need an extra $200 to $500 a month, or who need $500 a month in time for Christmas, or who wants to pay Christmas in cash instead of on a card, like whatever your call to action is. But that's the best way that you can tell your story and tell a story at the same time. I hope that makes sense. So your story means what's personal to you. Your mess is your message. So whatever messy stuff is going on in your life or was going on in your life or whatever, talk about it, because believe it or not, other people are going through the same thing as you or something similar to you. And when you can break down that wall and be a little bit vulnerable, then people are going to relate to you. Just like Ashley said, there's not like a super broke, stressed out, struggling single mom on Facebook watching me right now and is like, she just retired her husband. I think I'm going to join this business. No, she was trying to figure out how she's going to get through the next day and put food on the plate, on her kids' plates, And so me talking about this I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm so blessed. This business has blessed me so much. And I do talk about it, but I make sure I talk about the little things too, like that gas post, for example. Like, I know how you feel because I felt that way. And so you guys can do that. Even if you haven't even made your first paycheck, you can still be doing posts like that, because it's like, I know how you feel because I feel that way right now too. But you know what? I found something. I found something that's going to help me, and it can help you too. And I'm looking for 3 women this month who are ready to run with me to the top. I'm not making $1 million right now, but I'm going to make $1 million one day. And I want to know who's coming to the top with me. Like, hello, who wants to join my team now? Because I feel like that was a good post. Like, people want to find stuff that they can relate to, or people, not that they want to, but when people relate to stuff, when they relate to you, you become more trustworthy. You have just built this, you've broken down that wall. Now you guys have this thing in common. Like, we're both broke. We're both struggling. We both want Target money. We both are single moms. We're both newlyweds. We're both whatever you are. Talk about it and talk about the struggle. Don't be afraid to talk about the struggle, because everyone's struggling in some way. And so when you can figure out a way to talk about your story 52 different ways so that you can be targeting 52 different kinds of people, that's amazing, because now you're breaking down those walls for people all over the place. And you're going to find that when you're telling these stories about you, you're going to be attracting people, and people are going to be coming to you. So the messaging is amazing. The messaging is important, because people aren't always going to come to you, but it's going to be really nice when people are coming to you, because they're going to see that post and they're going to want to know more. So never, ever forget to talk about the little things that It Works is doing for you, and make it a really big deal. And I love what Ashley was saying. Like, when you get a new teammate, post on your wall about that new teammate and all the amazing stuff she's going to do. Post on their wall. Like, I just signed Hope. I'm so excited for her to earn her shopping spree. She's going to start making $500 a month right away. She's going to be able to pay her own college tuition. Like, talk about it. Like, whatever her why was, talk about her why, because then all the other college girls are going to be like, wait, what? She's gonna pay for her own college tuition? Like, what? Or whatever. So blow that up when you enroll a distributor, when you get a fast start bonus. Heck, when you sell a coffee sample for $5, like, talk about it. And you don't have to be like, I just made $5. I mean, you can if you want to, but like, I'm so in love with these products. I'm already feeling better and different. I'm seeing, whatever result it is that you're seeing, I'm getting so much energy. And I've already helped so many other people feel the same way too. Just by selling that one coffee sample, you can say that you helped one person. So just don't forget to talk about every single little thing. And I forget sometimes, and like a $99 fast start bonus that's some powerful stuff. Like Ashley was saying, $99 could help so many people. And sometimes I forget, like, not to sound snooty tooty, but I'll get that email that I earned $99 or however many bonuses I got, and I'll just be like, sweet, and then I'll move on with my day. No, like, I should be the second that email comes through, I should be posting about it and showing the world that this $99 bonus just came through. Because when they're seeing me consistently post about these bonuses every single week, that's not even our commissions, you guys. So like, they're going to be like, how are you earning these bonuses every week? Which, newsflash, if you're brand new and you don't know what a fast start bonus is, it's when you sign a new distributor, when you personally enroll a new distributor to your team, and you teach them and help them to get their first 2 loyal customers, and to either have their auto shipment set up to run or get 150 in personal bonus volume. You're going to earn a $99 Fast Start bonus. So just in simplified layman's term, when you enroll a new distributor and you teach them how to get their business off to a great start doing the things that you were taught, you're going to earn money for it. The company's rewarding you for being a good teacher. I heard somebody once call it a teacher bonus, and I really liked it because that's exactly what it is. You are being incentivized for teaching your new distributors how to run their business successfully. Okay, so I think I harped on that long enough. Is there anything else, Ashley, or can we release our students?
I think that's everything. That's everything I had written down. And I hope that this was like super helpful for you guys. It was recorded if you guys need to rewatch it, or if you had anybody who couldn't get on, make sure they watch this. I feel like it was pretty informative, but not like in an overwhelming way. And of course, if you have any questions about what we talked about, just reach out to either us, your enroller, whoever. Good. I'm glad it was helpful. But yeah, I think that's everything, guys.
I'm going to stop the recording, but I'm going to stay on for like 3 to 4 more minutes. Just if anybody has a question, you feel free to unmute yourself, or if you're uncomfortable talking in front of everybody, go ahead and just throw it in the chats. I'm just going to stay on for a few minutes and answer any questions if there are any, okay? And thank you guys for joining us. I'm going to quit recording, and if you don't have questions, feel free to hop on off.